Hey, everybody.
We're in progress.
That's right. It's time for your favorite show. It's This is the Future.
Unfortunately.
That's
Right.
right. Hey, man. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Are you tongue kissing the camera?
Usually.
What you do in your downtime's none of my business.
Well, unless I make it your business, Tony.
Yeah, well, you just did. You just tongue kissed the whole show.
Yeah, well, that's usually what I do.
All right.
Everyone needs love. Yeah, man. What's
Well,
up?
not much. Speaking of love, I just mentioned to you before we recorded that I saw that we got a comment from one of our avid supporters, and she just said, "Hey assholes, hi." And you know
Yeah,
what? That's what we're looking for out there. Just so you know,
good.
that's it. Just a little love and understanding. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. She said that she didn't um have anything to suggest other than saying hi, assholes. Just wanted to say hi. And I responded. I said, well, hello.
We know who we are.
Yeah. Um,
So, how you
I think
doing, stud?
I'm good. I think baby Jesus is coming down from the heavens. Can you see that?
No, yeah, he's with you all the time. Honestly, he's our third. He's our third voice.
It's his light penis.
You know what? I actually, you know what? We could just go ahead and pull over right here. Yesterday, I have a story. Um, so kind of like definitely not busting my dad's chops for what he's going through, but just to get everybody caught up. My dad is 65. He's retired basically because he has a shitload of arthritis, and he's done
Hmm.
doing the manufacturing thing. But he's never like had to go through like something like this before. So basically he's in a lot of pain. He can't like get a solution yet. So
Right.
he's starting to people it happens to people. He thinks thinks he's at the end of the road because it's constant pain. So
Right.
no one can bust anyone's balls when they feel like that because only you know how you feel. So
Right.
not here to make fun of that, but I do have something that he gave me a personal experience yesterday to where if anyone was watching, they would have filmed, and I'd have a million views right now. Um, it was crazy. So we went and shot some pool, and then we came back to the house. I just been hanging out with him in my downtime when my mom's not around, just to make sure he's cool, you know. But but like I said, he's been very, just very concerned and what
Mhm.
have you. So we were playing cards and he's like, I'm gonna play. He's like, mind if I play some music, play something a little different. And as he said that, I looked out and I forget what it's called, but there's like this little religious book that you only see in old people's bathrooms.
Mhm.
What's it called? Like something like trail passageways or footprints.
The Bible?
No, it's not the Bible. It's a daily update of the Bible. It's the
Oh,
Bible continued. It's footprints. You ever seen these, have you then? It's a little
no.
book. I have. I've only seen them seriously like in my grandparents' bathroom. They're always little books, little paper books, and they're dated. So they're current. Like it says like this month, this year, and they're
Yeah.
religious quotes and what have you. So
Yeah.
I'm like, literally, like, this is the same guy who used to like drive the car and cuss all the time, listen to fucking like heavy music, and he used to say like life's a bitch and then you marry one. Like this is my dad. This is the guy I grew up with, right? This
Right.
is this is the I joined the Marine Corps. This guy's such a fucking pain in the ass. So I joined the Marine Corps. You know what I mean? Like that's how revved up this fucking guy got me. And now he's sitting there like just knocking on God's door, like, hello, hey, you thinking
Yeah.
about me? Because I think I'm coming. And it's just like, I'm like, really? Like yesterday, I asked him, he said he watched this Drive to Survive series. For those of you who don't know, it's a Netflix show about F1 racing. It's amazing, but it's a soap opera. There's not a lot of racing, it's a lot of cussing, a lot of great shit that I like. And I asked him what he thought of it, and this is what he said. He said it was good, but I felt that there was a lot of language. What the hell? So back to the part where we're playing cards, and he asks if I can try out some different music, and I literally said, "It isn't gospel, is it?" And he literally says, "Actually, it is." And for the next 20 minutes, I rode that fucking bull, man. I was like, "Woo!" in my head, I'm like, holy shit, this sucks. Oh my God. And he's like,
Like,
these are old gospel hymns. And I'm like, what the fuck is going
so
on?
so I'm just asking questions, no judgment behind anything.
No, go ahead.
So he thinks he's near the end. So he's like, right. I
You're
mean,
right. You're right. You're right.
that's what you just said. So I'm just going off of what that is, and so he thinks he's getting close. So he's starting to tidy up the room, so to speak. He's starting to like, being like, you
Repent, I
know,
guess.
like being religious. Well, I mean, I just gotta say that's pretty natural, I would think. Pretty common if you think you're like, oh, I I feel like I'm heading towards the light soon. I gotta get God's ducks in the row. I gotta get
Gotta
right.
get right with Jesus.
So
Yeah.
I
And I'm not
I
making fun of him for that. I'm just making
no,
fun of
no,
the gospel part, just so we're clear. I know
totally,
you're
totally.
not. I know you're not. I'm just saying I'm not making fun of anyone who, lived a life and they're like, "Holy shit, I think I'm at the end," because that could happen to me. But I'm going to meetings. I don't want that to happen to me.
Right.
I don't. I don't want to. I don't want that to. I don't. I don't want to be like, "Oh shit, this really could be. I need to start kissing ass." No, 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 no. God and I have had an understanding for a long time. And hopefully he's just gonna take me out quick. I mean, that was kind of the agreement. It was just like, one minute you're working, the next minute you're dead in the cat food bowl. That's it, buddy. So anyway, to the gospel music was the thing. If anyone was watching, they'd be like, "Holy shit, how's he gonna handle this?" I let him play it as long as he wanted to,
Did
and
you
then he
say
said,
anything? Were you like, come
"Well, he
on?
kept going because he was just like, well, what do you think of this?" And I'm like, well, as professional as I could be and respectful as I could be, I was just like, honestly, this isn't my thing. I was like, I'm not I'm not a fan of religion. I was like, you know me, you know that I didn't want to go when I was a teenager in high school. I didn't want to go on Christmas Eve. I told my mom, I was like, when I was 18, I was like, I'm good. I'm making my own choices from here on out, and I'm not going to see God on Christmas Eve. Like then they knew it was like Tony's not into this shit.
Right,
You know? So I told him, I was like, "I respect it. You were raised with it. You're generations ahead of me. That's what you all did. You all went to church. I went to my room and watched television. Like, that was the
right,
difference." So I told him, I was like, "I respect it, but I've got my own way of looking at life. And the shit he doesn't know about me, man, like, it's kind of a miracle I'm here for all just I've kind of like some people just have those moments. You're like, shit, man, I thought I died 1,000 times. Like, no, not, you're like, and I didn't
right.
wake up I didn't sit there in my chair, be like, "All right, I'm all yours if I make it through this one," It's like, "Hey, just take, fuck it."
Let's
You
go.
know?
Yeah.
But in any case, it's just like the music. I was like, "Why do we have to start listening to this now because you're worried?" I just don't think God cares if you start playing his soundtrack before you come,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like, you're still invited, you don't have to listen to this shit. He's like, "I don't listen to this, I'm an AC/DC fan. You
Yeah.
don't have to listen to this." Sometimes I'm into country, I like a little Clint Black, but I don't listen to gospel. Come on
Yeah.
up. Don't worry about it. That's how I look at this. If
Hmm.
you're, scared, fear of death, absolutely. What do I know? But don't change your patterns, man. You like the Allman Brothers, listen to fucking Allman Brothers. It's your last chance you're gonna get. You might die. Listen to the Allman Brothers. He might not have Allman Brothers in heaven. I mean, come on. What are you thinking?
That's funny because that's funny because like you said he said that he was like a little something different today. Like to me that I was like, all right, what is he gonna put on like Beyonce or
No way. No way.
like some kind of like crazy techno or
I
like
wish.
like a little something different, like some like crazy death metal dying fetus.
I
But
wish.
and then all of but it was just like a different left turn,
Like
like
I said, yeah. I saw that book on the table about God and dying, and I'm like, ah, shit. We're going to heaven, aren't we, right now?
you know, I remember I grew up going to church, and I bought into it a bit because the church we had a cool youth group. And you skateboard, you played basketball, it wasn't like a rich church either. Like we built the skateboard ramps and stuff, and they were actually pretty legit, and people would go there just to skateboard. And there was a bunch of ramps and rails that we mostly made or like well, acquired somehow. We stole them.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, you're supposed to say that the Lord provided. You're not supposed to say that. Are we still sure
uh,
this is a skate church?
um, no, I didn't steal them.
Okay, you said
Um,
I did. In the name of the Lord. We appropriate.
yeah.
This
But
is getting good already. This is
yeah.
terrible. Keep going. Oh my God.
And the youth group was like trying to be young and like try to, lure a bunch of, the youth in, and for Jesus. And so it was like, there was like a skater and a punk rock vibe, and like the house, like the youth group band was like they were like Christian punks, and like there's a whole genre, whole subgenre of punk that is called Christian punk, and a lot of it was really good back in the day. They just a lot of these there's like certain bands like MXPX, Squad 50, Dogwood, blah blah blah, a bunch of Slick Shoes, a bunch of different bands
Really? I didn't
that
know that. I know MXPX and Slick Shoes. I didn't know that they were.
oh yeah, definitely. And
Whoa.
mainly those bands were mainly Christian because their parents went to church, similar situation, and like, well, you got to go to church, and the youth group was cool, and then they started playing music, and then they kind of got popular, and then like a Christian label picked them up, and I don't think they're necessarily Christian. It's just they happen to be young enough and going to youth group because their parents wanted them to.
Right.
So basically, my point is, when I was a kid, I really liked that music, and I listen to it now. It kind of just sounds like any other like punk that anyone listened to 20 years ago. That wasn't that great, but it
Right.
had
Just clean.
a time and place. And for me, back in the day when I had to go to church when I was made to, it was good for me. I had like an outlet that was like, okay, this is Christian, but it's still cool because it's like punk rock. But
Yeah.
so there's that Christian music, and to like, the point I'm trying to make is like, if it's Christian, maybe spike your hair a little bit, wear some spiked bracelets in the shape of crosses, like throw a little pizzazz into Christianity, that's
Yeah.
about
Spice it up. Spices.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Enough.
I
Enough.
mean, hey, I think your dad's just he's going through it and he wants to listen to some gospel. I would like to see you in that room though, in that moment, just
I
being like, like if you weren't my dad.
I had a view of like out the window, and I was just like, when's my mom gonna get here and see what he's doing to me? Like,
Yeah, because she's gonna be like, "What are you doing
like,
to?"
turn that off, Charlie. Like he's melting. Fuck. His feet are catching on fire. Don't you know he's the devil's spawn? He was born and we never had sex. Don't you know he's a demon?
Oh man, yeah, I'd like to be a cross on the wall in that situation. That'd be fun.
But I'm telling you, that scene, I was just had this out of body experience where I was behind a camera in the other room filming this shit. I was just like, "Oh my God, look at this. This is terrible." It's like something. It's like somebody's origin story. Be like, "So
Yeah.
why'd you just move out and run away?" Be like, well,
So, what does your dad usually listen to though?
I
Like,
mean, honestly, these days he's into like jazz.
uh-huh.
I've tried to get him into like Coltrane and whatnot, but I mean, he's always been his favorite band. If I had to say, is probably Steely Dan. So he's always been
Okay.
into like that '70s, like classic rock thing. But then that's got that funk vibe to it.
Hmm.
Like Steely Dan's just got that crazy ass vibe, and he's always that. I think that band kind of explains all my dad's personalities.
Right. Okay.
Honestly, like so, yeah. That's that. If I had to sum it up, I'd say he's a Steely Dan fan for sure. But I just, I understand it. I just hate to see. I don't know. I'm just like, man, like no offense, but I don't feel like trying to behave at 65 is going to make up for all the shit you think you did wrong the last 65 years. And it's called forgiving for a reason.
Yeah.
That's what because I told him, I was like, listen, I understand that Christ died on the cross for my sins and all that. And if I want his guidance, he's there. I get all that. I told him that. He's like, well, I'm glad that you know that that's a thing. I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, we're friends on the bus, me and Jesus. We're fine. You know,
Right.
he's just all right with me. Jesus is just all right. It's fine. But it ain't, I'm not going to his clubhouse on Sunday. I just don't need to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I watched The Irishman and I got upset at the end of The Irishman because after all the tuning up he did to all them people, he starts talking about God and shit and talking to a priest. But he killed a lot of fucking people. So God does say don't kill. I
Yeah.
haven't yet. I mean, yet. I don't plan on it. So I'm not worried.
Well, you might. You might.
If I do, then you'll be like, Tony got into religion, in his late 70s.
Yeah.
And a lot of his problems went missing around that time, too.
That's what I'll say. Be like, well, I guess he's religious now. He killed
Oh,
all
dude.
the people.
If you see me wear a cross, I'll also have a lot of chest hair. I'll have a thick Italian accent and a lot of finger jewelry. I'm joining the mob. If I'm going to do that, I'm joining the mob. If I'm going to
Yeah.
have a cross, I better have everything that goes with it. And an old Cadillac with those eyelid headlights, like, whoop, I want that. It has to be green. I want a green, old, big Cadillac with green interior. And I want dead people in the trunk, 6 of them, because there's room. If I'm wearing a cross on my neck, I'm a mobster, and that's what's in my trunk.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no cross on my neck. It's the only way. It's the only way it looks cool to me. I'm like, all right, Christ is cool on that guy because he just whacked somebody in a restaurant. That's awesome.
Like, too bad that Tony G went to prison for, he got like 350 years. He killed like 17 people. Well, I'm proud of him. He finally found his way to Jesus.
That's right. Listen, it took me 17 homicides to realize that God is on my side. Okay.
He's a serial killer. So what you're saying is he's going to heaven? he's a Christian now. Yeah.
Look, none of the people I killed went to church on Sunday, so I was doing him a favor. All right. Fuck. I'm kidding. I'm not into any of that shit. I really just want to sit. I figure I'm sitting at a bus stop and I'm not getting on any buses. I'm just watching them go by until it's done.
You could have said it. You could have just been like, yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm not into that Jesus stuff.
I'm not.
But that killing stuff, totally into.
I don't want to do that either. After watching Dahmer, I'm like, I'm good. That's fucked up.
2 whiskey cokes, please.
Right? Ugh. I just want to take some pictures.
Yeah.
Not with that shitty camera.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's what I would have said. Imagine if it was in the modern world. What, with that Android phone? Fuck you. I'm not coming over. You better have a 14 Pro Max. You want to take pictures of this beauty, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you, man. Jeffrey Dahmer. I want to take pictures with this shitty. No, you're not. No. You got a vat of acid in here, Jeffrey. I'm leaving.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
So anyway, how was your week?
Well, it's all right. My car's been broken down for a couple of weeks. I just had it towed to the auto mechanic here this morning, so that's good news. We had a bunch of snow.
Yeah.
As we talked about, there was a story that I was going to tell last week, but we ended up talking about serial killers now two episodes
We
in a row.
just mentioned it this time.
Yeah, it's true, but what's in our heads, huh? No? Okay.
Fox News at 9. These two started as a shitty fucking podcast, and they turned into murderers.
It turns out there was a reason why Alex had a bunch of little plastic men all over him.
One for each victim. He killed him with the action figures. Wow. Anywho, go ahead.
This is all their souls that are trapped. Yeah,
That's fucked up.
up in the head.
All of a sudden, like, it just pans forward to your basement. It's like, "Oh, that room's not that full of toys." You go to the basement, just tons of toys. Ah!
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, this is the house. No, don't look over there.
One for each soul. Anyway, you were saying?
um, so yeah, my work closed for 2 days in a row because due to the weather. Because it really proves that most people from that live in Portland, I want to say like 90% of people that live in Portland aren't from Oregon. So they don't know how to drive in the snow or exist in the snow. It's all anyone could talk about, and blah, blah, blah. And everyone just loses their goddamn mind when a bunch of white, flaky stuff falls from the sky. And everyone's like, oh my God. So everyone closes. No one knows how to drive. Everyone's fucked. The buses don't have change. There's like 3 snowplows on all of Portland. There's only 3 because there was 2. We borrowed one from Seattle. You know, it's just like a butler. Jesus, get it the fuck. Okay, I get it. This is Portland. You still live in Oregon. This is still Oregon.
Yeah,
I
most
was,
people that would assume that you guys know what the fuck you're doing with snow, by
yeah.
the way, just so you know.
Oh, I agree. Like I grew up in this. I only grew up like 3.5 hours, 3 hours from here. And Central Oregon, every year, every single year, there was snow. It's normal. It was just like, yeah, there's snow on the fucking ground. It's
Right.
how it is every year. It's not, it's like, it's sunny. It's snowy. Normal. So my lovely fiance and her lovely sister work together, and we live next to her. And so they go to work together most days. They drive, the carpool. And so they went to work before it started snowing. They're from California. They're from Palm Springs, the desert, basically.
Whoa. Yeah.
Like, coldest
Southern.
it ever gets is like 80 or something. Probably colder. That was an exaggeration, but probably, you know what I mean. So they drove the work, and they drove Callie's Jeep Liberty. Taryn's boyfriend drove her car, which is better in the snow, up to the mountain to go snowboarding.
Nice.
My car is broken. His car is broken. There's only 2 cars. So probably, I'm guessing around 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, there's probably about 6 inches of snow, solid sheets of ice on the ground. Fucking cold. It was blizzard out. And so Callie's work closes early a little bit. And then Callie and her sister are the kind of people that are so nice. They're like the nicest people you'll ever meet. They'll
Yeah. Well,
do whatever they can to help you out, to such a degree that sometimes it ends up fucking them over.
sure.
That's how nice they are. And they don't even think that it's going to happen. But from someone on the outside, I'm like, there's a level of niceness that you can be until you're just like, then you're fucked.
Staying the night in the fucking store. Yeah.
So what ended up happening is they have a coworker who's on crutches at the moment because they have something going on with their feet and broken toe or whatever. So they're on crutches. So they were like, well, we want to wait for them, or we want to give them a ride home so they don't have to wait for the bus in the cold, which is nice, right? It's nice.
Right.
It's only nice if you know how to drive in the snow. It's only nice if you're driving a good car that's not going to get stuck. It's only nice if you don't know. It's only nice if you don't know how to drive in the snow. You're driving a car that's going to get stuck, and that you don't live 5 miles from where you're going to have to walk home in the blizzard. So that's what ended up happening. They don't really know how to drive in the snow, which I'm not making fun of them. Just
Right.
kind of how you're brought up. You don't know.
They can drive in the sand.
They could drive in the sand.
Right.
They're good at driving doom buggies, tanks. I don't know.
Hovercraft.
Yeah.
Just not a vehicle in the white shit. That's all.
Yeah. And so they ended up dropping their coworker off, And so where the coworker lives is kind of a downhill
Oh,
from
no.
where they work at, and from where they work at and to our house is basically a straight shot. There's a hill at one point, but it's more of a straight shot than where. So here where they work, here where we live, and then here where they had to go to drop them off.
Yeah.
So they dropped them off, and then they just basically couldn't keep the car on the road. They were about running into parked cars and driving on the sidewalk there. It was getting like really frustrating for them. So what they had to do is park it and walk home.
Yep.
Walked 5 miles in the snow.
God
But
damn.
they were like kind of like, it was snowing, pouring that, like just snow was coming
It had
down.
to be dumping, yeah.
I was just dumping, and Callie was wearing jeans and Converse.
Ooh,
Bad idea.
that sucks.
Yeah. So, and they were like, like they're walking with their heads down, they're shaking, and they're kind of like not paying attention to where they're walking. So they ended up walking one major street past of where they should have, which one major street is like, there's like four, could be 3 to 4 or 5, whatever, small streets in between, obviously.
Yeah.
And so they ended up walking
Five blocks.
they probably added another 20 to 30 minutes onto their journey. And I'm sitting at home feeling helpless. I'm like, like a number of things could happen,
Yeah.
They're tiny little people. They weigh like 115 pounds,
Right.
like they're tiny humans. And so they're probably really cold because of that. People don't know how to drive, even though they are driving in this town in the snow. Like someone could drive in, so I'm like getting all like parent, like dad worried, mad at them. Dad worried, mad, And I walked and met them, and I found myself walking in front of them and walking a little faster, like razzle, razzle, frazzle. You could have fucking died, but. And I told them, I'm like, I'm dad mad at you guys. Just like, because here's the thing. Here's what I would have done. And I understand that you want to help the person, and you should. So you figure out when the bus is coming, and you wait for them. You wait with them for the bus.
Right.
In the store, in a car, and when they get on the bus, you go home. So that's that little story, and that's I felt you're a parent and stuff, so I felt like that kind of worry. It's the only thing I could accumulate it to was I felt
Right. Yeah,
worried about people that I care about, and I'm like, what are you doing? There's better ways to do this.
right.
But I do feel like they're little badasses for walking that far in the snow.
I don't.
But to be a badass, that usually means you're not using your head.
Oh yeah. Hi, how are you? Yep. Know all about that one. So people
Yeah,
call me after I do dumb shit to get away with it.
right.
I'll have to say this. I may have hit on this story before, but I've done that. I've done a walk like that before. When I lived in North Dakota, we moved there when I was in the middle of 10th grade. My dad's next assignment in the military. Long story short, we got a house downtown. I went to a civilian school in the city downtown of Grand Forks, North Dakota, and they don't have school buses for that school. You use the city bus. Unless you live far enough away, then there's a school bus. Since I lived within city limits, it's on you. So
Okay.
long story short, something I didn't know, my parents didn't know either. I just took the city bus to school. Well, in Grand Forks, North Dakota, where it snows more than it does anything else, they cancel the city buses rather quickly.
Hmm.
The snow dumps fast enough to where they're like, "No, fuck this, we're done."
Right.
So the first time, probably think it was probably the last time in that condition, I walked home in a full-blown blizzard, and we'd only lived there a couple of months, and before that, I lived in England, so I was used to rain, not fucking snow.
Right.
I think I had gloves, and I had, like, boots and all that horse shit, and I remember my knees were buried, and I remember, like, couldn't see, but I knew, like, it's one of those things, like, I know what they're talking about with street signs, in all honesty, like, you can't see shit. Like, even the
Right.
street signs, like, 6 feet up there, you're like, "Yeah, that's gotta be it," but they all look the same, they're all hazy, and they're just, like, they're so white, they're almost dark and gray, like, it's hard to explain, it's everything looks like a tunnel, each street looks like a tunnel. You can't tell the difference. All the cars are covered, they're all bubbles. So I
Mhm.
remember one time I walk all the way, it was a good, like, 20 it was 20 city blocks, and I get to my house, full-blown blizzard, man, like, I look back and my tracks already filled in. And I get to the house,
Yeah.
and no one's on the street except my old man. And he's out there shoveling that goddamn driveway because my mom is still at work, because that's how my mom it's always been that way for my mom. My mom is not a fight does not work at the fire department or the fucking or the cop shop. She works at a bank, but banks
Mhm.
don't let people fucking go home. So she just at work. So my dad, I walk up, like 3 in the afternoon. My dad's like, "Hey, all right, man, grab a shovel." I'm like, "No, I want to grab a shovel. I want to grab my hands. I can't feel them. Ow, my fingers." But I was 16 years old. He would have just hit me with the shovel. So I grabbed the shovel and we shoveled, and it was so stupid because it was filling in so fast, and I was just like, "Fuck this," like, and I had a metal shovel, so when you pick up the snow, it just sits on one side and flips over. It's just like,
Mhm.
one of those flat metal shovels, like, just dumps.
Yeah.
You weren't doing anything. So long story short, I remember, like, finally he's like waving at me, and I'm like finishing up, and then I look up the next time and he's gone. So I'm like, "Fuck." So I go inside and I'm like, "Are we done?" And he's like, "Yeah, it ain't working." I was like, "It's been 2 hours. That's what I was saying." He's like, "I didn't hear you say nothing. There's a goddamn blizzard out there." I'm like, "Whatever." And so all of a sudden he sees like tears in my eyes, like they're for my I have tears and they're frozen in my face. Like, "What the hell are you crying for?" And I bit my glove. I was like, and I pulled it off, and it's just like purple and white. He's like, "Shit!" And I'm like, "Ah!" And I go, "Oh fuck!" And I'm just like, "Ah!" And he's like, "Go up there and sit over the heater vent." And I'm like, "Okay," because we didn't have a fireplace or anything. So I remember sitting over this heater vent, just knocking them together like they're ice cubes, just like this hitting them against each other. And eventually started to feel the blood flow. Then I was like, "Ow!" Because it really hurts when they start to thaw and
Yeah.
that frozen it's fucking and my dad's like, "Stop yelling in the fucking heater vent." And that's right when my mom walked in looking like a frozen snow woman. She's like, "Why are you 2 yelling at each other instead of shoveling the driveway?"
That's perfect.
That fucking sucked. So I totally get that, and it sucks, and the fact that they were in Converse and jeans for seriously over 5 miles, that's amazing. I'm so glad they didn't get frostbite
No, yeah, I
doing
know.
that, because
No,
that sucks.
I am proud. I am like think it's like I'm happy that they were fine and all, and in a way, I'm like,
Oh,
that
sure, I
they
know
are
you
like
are.
little badasses. But I was just like dad worried. I don't know. I was just like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah, they put themselves in a situation they didn't have to be in, but
yeah,
they did what they thought was the right thing, and that's a lesson learned. It's
uh,
like,
and
if the
I'm
bus
not.
is running, let them take the bus. Seriously, if the bus is running, that guy's either the driver's either confident or he's covered with insurance. So it's
Right.
fucking I would be on a bus, honestly. I would take a bus in a blizzard over my own car because if
Mhm.
he hits something, it's cushion.
Yeah.
It's like, "Wee, I'm in a big hot dog." Woo, you know? If you see there's an accident, you can move seats. You're like, "Oh shit, he's gonna hit a building. Let's go to the back of the bus."
Right. Exactly.
Can
And
you
it's like
open the door? You're about to kill us. Thank you. Whee!
and I'm not like bashing them or anything. It was just like they made it. They did it. They're resilient little hobbits. They got it.
Oh yeah. No, I don't
But
think you're bashing them at all. I just hats off to them that they fucking made it. 5
oh
miles, 5 miles in the
yeah,
snow
yeah.
in Converse. Fuck, I couldn't do it.
Um,
I'd still be bitching.
oh yeah. But they but that night it it continued to dump snow and in our yard we have a like a rhododendron tree. I don't know. That's what I've told it is. And it's huge. Like it's fucking it's a big fucking tree. And it's annoying in the summer. Has all these big like pink and red flowers that are huge, and they like get all over the ground, and
Yeah.
they're fucking gross. It rains, it turns into slime, and you slip, and it's just fucking. No matter how many times you pick it up, there's more, and it's fucking sucks.
Dad,
Um,
blame
yeah.
it.
So there was so much snow that it weighted the tree down, and it started to bend down. It was almost touching the ground, and finally a big chunk of it, this log was probably about this big around and probably about 10 feet long. Fine, I heard it from inside. It snapped and fell on the ground. So then the other parts of the tree were hanging down, and it was like, if that one breaks, it's gonna fall into our house and break a window, or it's gonna fall on someone when they're like going back and forth between the two houses,
Right.
or fall into their house. So 2 days later, when it finally stopped dumping, there was just snow everywhere. I went to the bar, took 2 shots of tequila, came home, and chopped the goddamn tree down.
The whole tree?
The rest of it, yeah, that
Oh
was,
wow.
and and all I had was I had an axe, and I had a handsaw, and like, some of these these
Pruning
things.
shears.
Yeah, some.
Bolt
And
cutters. Alex is out there with bolt cutters.
yeah, so fucking,
I'm
if I
gonna
could
get all
cut
my
metal.
collectibles out of the storage unit.
And so yeah, I chopped it all down, and then another 2 days later, I was like, well, I got to pick it up, and I got to like do something with it now.
You
Now
didn't
that
clean
I
it
was,
up. You just
yeah, I was just like, well, I got this like pile of tree in the yard, and this is something I've talked to you about. Is like, our landlords are really cool, the rent's decent, but with a lot of things, we're kind of on our own. Like, I asked him if we could cut the tree down a long time ago, and he said yes. So I knew it was okay, but I knew I was going to be on my own with, figuring out how to dispose of the tree.
right.
So it's just going to be one compost bin, at a time. And now I just got a tree laying on the side of the house, so it's kind of cool.
Nice,
But
man.
I felt like a real man. I was like, this is fucking awesome. I just cut it.
I feel like a real man.
But a pretty good sized branch fell on my face though, and I had a little. It went away now, but I had like a pretty good little
Oh
mark.
shit.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Nice, man. It's like Christmas story. What
Yeah.
happened to your eye? And I signals fell and it hit me in the eye. I stepped on my glasses, but it wasn't a beer.
Aw, fudge. I didn't say fudge.
I didn't say fudge. That's fucking funny. All right, that was funny. That's yeah. Snow's fun. The whole West Coast got worked.
Mhm.
Like they got snowed damn near down to where your lady's from. Like it went all the way down to Southern California. They got feet.
Dang.
It's crazy. They say they're gonna get a little bit more. And now they're saying the same city, the same state that's always crying about a drought. It's like, we have too much water. It's like, listen, people, it's one or the other. You're
Yeah.
flooding or you're fucking drying out. It's one or the other. You can't have both. All right?
Yeah.
There's no perfect. Sorry.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, you can't have your snow and eat it too. It's like.
Well, maybe, but I
Well,
just it's just funny, like poor state of California. Honestly, it's just so they should chop it up into 3 other states. So then be like, listen, that shit doesn't happen as much anymore. It only happens as a quarter of as much as it used to. Okay, we have 3 other states, so it's fine. We broke up the bullshit. State's huge. It's bound to have some bullshit problems.
Oh,
Crazy.
yeah. But yeah, snow's fun. I like it. I like it when it snows. And as
Yeah.
much as I like bitch about people in Portland not knowing how to drive or be alive in the snow in this town, I like having snow days. I don't mind not working. It's like, oh, there's no work. All right, cool.
Well, I mean, working from home, it just fucking snows, and you're like, whatever. I don't care if it snows because I don't have to drive in this shit anymore. to
Right.
be honest with you. Like, that's the benefit. I say if it's snowing, there's really no reason to go out of your house. If your boss is telling you to work, then tell him you'll fucking meet him there. Like, you go first. Tell me it's cool, then I'll go. Because
Yeah,
you make more
exactly.
money than I do, asshole. You know? Like, honestly, you could fix your car. If I fuck mine up, it ain't worth the job. So,
Mhm.
no, there's no reason to if like, the thing I remember about Portland, I think I've told this story too, but, like, there's hills in Portland, and people were like I remember seeing on news, people, like, taking their car out of, putting it in drive or whatever, and it just they don't get in your car. They're, like, taking it out of park, and it's sliding down the street for 7 blocks.
Yeah.
Like, if it's snowing and your car is sitting on the street, good, let it sit there till the snow's gone. Don't
Yeah.
bother. If you can't walk down the street, sure as shit don't get in your car.
Yeah.
That's got 4 slippery sneakers, you're only wearing 2, okay?
Exactly,
You're going down at
exactly.
least 4 times as fast as you are. Fuck that. Yeah, I don't even like, when it snows, I don't even know if I go anywhere at all. Like, I'm like, I might go out and walk in it because it's snow, but I'm not like, "Boy, I sure gotta go get them stamps today." I don't
Yeah,
care. Fuck
right.
today, I'm staying home. Let's bust out Shawshank Redemption. Here we go, baby. Hot cocoa.
Fuck those stamps, yeah.
Yeah. Mailman ain't
Um,
working anyway. Huh,
um,
fun stuff.
I don't know if we have an unfortunate event. It kinda was all the snow was unfortunate, we'll just
It was
leave it
pretty
at
that was it was unf I felt that was unfortunate.
that.
But
I felt
fortunately, they got home safe.
yeah,
Yay.
yeah.
Cute little story. Doesn't always have to be intense. Honestly, I was thinking about it today. With the news and everything, I look through Google News, nothing's jumping out at me. The only thing I've heard about is balloons, spy balloons, and
No,
that's cool. Hey, that's cool, man. If you want to spy on that, that's cool. But I thought you guys already hacked everyone's cell phone. So what are you spying from up there for? You know? You could just subscribe to our YouTube channel. You don't have to spy. You could see what I'm doing right now for free, baby.
yeah.
If we get a new subscriber, you get to tell your boss you did something for your country. It's fine. No balloons. Don't need them.
Yeah, we don't need balloons. I did hear about something before we talk about music. I did hear, um, so there's a regular at my work who I'm kinda chatty with. I talk to him every once in a while. He, uh he was telling me and the bartender last night about, um, a recent cocaine bust that the FBI or whoever, um, got. The US busted or somebody that they busted a cocaine run from South America to Berlin. The cocaine was going to Berlin, and guess how much cocaine they found?
Mm.
$330 million worth of cocaine
Fuck.
that was found in a shipping container in a big box. And do you know how they were trying to disguise it?
Huh.
It was coming from South America, so I'm not trying to make like a joke, but there was a bunch of bananas on top of it. They had
I've heard that before, that
yeah,
they like to hide in banana loads for some reason.
yeah, yeah, and 330 million dollars.
Here's the thing though, kids. That's awesome, but if that was like one container, there were probably 3 containers.
Oh no, I
I
think
mean,
they
I'm saying they probably didn't find it all.
no, that's the thing. They average like 5 plus containers of that size.
Crazy.
So like if you do the math of like 5 whatever, that's a 1 billion.6 or so, I don't know. It's over $1 billion. Like that's fucking
Man, why can't I work for them, But, I wanna work for the legally, though. I need a 401k, but why can't I work for the cocaine industry
you
legally
could.
and
You
just be like
could.
and it's one of those things, it's like we have a party every time the shipment makes it to its destination. Like, "Woo-hoo-hoo! We're gonna eat this month, baby! It made it! They're doing coke in Berlin! Ha, ha, ha! Hey,
Yeah,
that's it." And when it doesn't make it, it's like commission, be like, "Ah, the feds busted us. We're not eating this month." Like, "Fuck."
right. Well,
But you're still getting that 401k and that great dental. Don't you worry.
So is that what Ween wrote that song about? Is Bananas and Blow? Is that what is that what it's
I
about?
really I don't even think they know why they wrote that song now, but I'm curious and it's funny. There's a correlation between Bananas and Blow. Definitely. I don't know what it is because honestly I mean I don't even eat bananas that much anymore and Below, well, not for me.
Yeah.
It's not snowing on Mount Tony. Sorry. I thought honestly, I thought you were getting ready to say I thought you were getting ready to say this guy says that this cocaine that fell into the woods and this bear, well you see this bear did the cocaine. I'm like, "Alex, that movie came out last week."
Oh, that's why he said that I should go see it.
Cocaine Bear, I have not seen. Of course I got to go see this fucking movie. I hope it's funny.
Right.
But yeah, and it looks so stupid. I'm like, this is where we are in America cinema right now. This is it. Cocaine Bear. That's it. Well, hell, what's the last movie that came out? Gerard Butler. His last movie. It came out like a month ago. It's literally called, wait for it, Plane. Plane.
Called
Just plain. That's it. Just plain. Plane. And it says most intoxicating fucking action movie ever. Plane. Like, wow, you got me. Woohoo! Maybe Plane and Cocaine Bear together, like a double feature, you know?
Dude, I'd go see Cocaine Bear. That sounds good.
Yeah, I'd see Plane. I mean, yeah, I'd see them both, whatever. But I'm bored,
Oh man.
running out of ideas. But they're funny ideas, the ones they still have.
So anyway, about time to talk about music, I reckon, eh?
Cool, man. Yeah, we probably could have. I probably could have talked about this album for pretty much the whole show, to be honest with you, because
Right.
um, for those of you who don't know yet, that maybe haven't seen enough episodes, both of us are pretty big Deftones fans. But
Yep.
to preface this properly, last week, if you watched the show, we spun the wheel and it landed on my name, and I just used my old noggin, and there was nothing in there. So I looked down and saw that I just bought the Deftones White Pony record, and that's what I selected. That's
Mhm.
what we listened to this week. And I said we both like the Deftones, so really it was just a flashback in history for me.
Yeah.
This movie came out when I was like 20 years old, just got out of high school. The first track on this album literally is about going back to school. And when I watched the music video, it's everyone dressed exactly like I was when I was in high school. There's no cell phones in the music video. It's just literally it took me back like 20 years when I watched just listen to this album. But anyway, Deftones White Pony. What do you think?
Oh, it's a classic album for me.
Yes.
I I don't remember how old I was when I first heard it. I'm like 5 years younger than you or something like that. I don't know.
We had said it was 21, sorry, 2001 that it came out.
Yeah. Okay, so I was in the ninth grade. I was a
Right.
freshman. And
There it is. So that song comes out, like the opening track comes out as you're starting high school, and that shit came out as I got out of high school. So we both kind of had that,
we had the same.
connection to it. Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, See, Deftones are a band for me that um has for me it held its weight. It's not cheesy enough where it's like the bad kind of new metal or whatever, and I don't even know if it
No,
is metal
I don't know
or
what
what
to
it
call it.
is. What I call it is bath time metal because it sounds all
I love this guy's
like
fucking shit he comes up with. It's
like
always
it
something
just
weird.
sounds like because it's all like la la la, sometimes all googie and blah blah blah, and then it gets heavy. It just sounds like a like a flying V guitar that has like bubble bath soap all over it. You know, it just sounds
It's a pink Mr. Bubble flying V guitar. It's
yeah,
all lightweight and shit.
it's bath time metal.
Tony, what kind of music you into these days? Well, I'm still listening to bath time metal, believe it or not. What the fuck? There's like 30 genres for all the damn music, and then Alex has a whole nother list.
Yeah, I do.
No. There's 30 plus another 107. Okay. Bath time's on there.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
funny.
bath time. Well, think about it. Like, think about it, Tony. Like, what is it like now that I say bath time metal? Think about what Deftones sound like and go, I could see a little. It's just, it's got a it's got a bath time element to me, and it's hard. So.
I have not. There are songs. If you took all the Deftones songs, there's like there's heavy, light. There's heavy, light, and middle. Right. That's how I look at it. And they have a lot of really cool. Their light songs would be their bath time songs. If that's what I get it.
Yeah,
Like there's some where just like, oh yeah, like that shit. I'm like, yeah, yeah. But then there's some stuff that's like, quick, throw me through that window, and you're like, okay.
yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
songs like that
Put
too.
that together. It's bath time metal.
I don't do that in my bath though, man. I don't. No one's throwing me through anything in my bathtub. So
Well, you gotta be more risky with your with your bath time. You know.
so it's bath time plus something in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, bath. Yeah, to me, I don't know, it's bath time metal. That's
It's
what
all
I'm.
right, fine. It's fucking bath time, man. Jeez.
Bath time metal. Come on, let's get on with it. I'm bored, Tony. Let's party.
You know, the funny thing is, there's a chance you could actually run into Chino just being back in Bend.
Yeah,
So it would be fun. I mean, seriously, if I happened to me while I'm back there, I'd be like, "Hey, I gotta tell you, I just gotta tell you what we call your shit now. It's
yeah,
bath time music." Like that's what I've been calling it, bath time metal.
yeah. Bath
He's
time.
like,
I
"I
mean,
invented it."
the song "Digital Bath."
True. So let me ask you this. Well, I actually really did want to ask you this. We had talked about Deftones before, and you had said that, or maybe it was Team Sleep, but you had said that they were like listed as more emo.
Yeah, I would
Because I would call the
consider.
Deftones emotional music. Like his
Oh yeah,
lyrics, like
definitely.
that's what I like about it. Because I'm an emotional bastard, so like I think that's why I connect with it so well.
No, I definitely would say that um Deftones is on the emotional side. I don't know if I would say straight up emo, definitely not, but like a genre or maybe like kind of like bro emo, a little like, like
Right.
dude emo, like it's just like I think Chino's just a really emotional guy that's like tries to be like he's kind of like sexy,
He's kind
tries
of
to be
sexy, yeah. He
like
is.
like a digital bath that has that like like you're like butt fucking someone underneath a waterfall. You know what I mean? They're like throwing their hair back, and you're like, you
Well,
know.
I mean, um, I'm gonna. Where is it? Is it right? I'm gonna cheat. I'm just stepping away right quick to grab the album.
I have it on vinyl too. I should have
Do you
grabbed it.
really? Nice. I'll end
It's
up with most of their shit on vinyl except for Gore, which I already have on vinyl. But here's
it's
a record for
yeah,
TJ.
yeah. I have that. It's downstairs. I don't know. You'll get it.
I
But
grabbed it
no,
so I could
I
have.
could. You what?
I grabbed it so I could have the set list and the lyrics in front. I mean,
Oh,
whatever, the track
smart.
list.
Um,
Can't
I
look.
think it's a great album. It's a classic album. It's got a lot of bangers on it. A lot of good shit. I would say there's only one song in there that I don't care for that much, and I don't think it's bad. I just kind of think it's a little boring, and that's
Which one?
Teenager.
Which one?
Teenager.
Teenager. Oh, okay, I didn't hear you say it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad song. I just think it's a little. It's just like kind of boring. I'm just like, it's fine.
So one of my favorite examples of the Deftones being like emotional, but still like be able to put the hook in and he acts all sexy and everything. And the music video definitely goes along with this one for me. When I hear the music, I see the music video in my head. It's Change in the House of Flies.
Hmm.
I love that video. The song is awesome,
Yeah.
but the way that video is shot, there's 4 videos I think on this album that I found. 4 music videos official. Um just Change in the House of Flies, Knife Party,
Oh yeah.
Street Carp, and Digital Bath are the ones that they made videos for. And Digital Bath's really fucking cool because they use a bunch of road footage and some really neat like camera trickery shit. Like makes it look like they're showing an X-ray of the like tunnel underground that the bus is going through. Like really cool video shit on Digital Bath. But their video. This is what's neat about this band to me is this was like the beginning of the end for making a shitload of music or a shitload of money on this kind of music because they had so many music videos. MTV was all over their ass. They were killing it. They were in there with Korn. Remember that? Like that was the last bands that were like, I sold 1 million fucking plastic discs with this music on it that you can now just pay $5 a month to Spotify for. I
Right.
made my money on this shit. And these guys did. And I'm like, because nowadays you have bands that are like this, but they're not making that kind of money. They're not.
No, definitely not.
They're fucked. But these guys are like, we're real rock stars. We really made it. In Digital Bath, he's riding in some sort of car in the video. He has ski goggles on. I
Yeah,
don't know.
isn't he like in like a cart or something? Like a
That's what I've always tried to figure out, because every time you see the video, it looks like he's in like the Drugula car from Rob Zombie. There's like this, I see this giant gear shifter. I don't know what he's driving, but it just looks like illegal, and it looks like they're going really fast. But
I thought he was like in like a shopping cart or something like that. I don't
But if you
know.
look, it looks like someone else is like drinking a beer and there's no roof on. I don't know what's going on, but the street lights are going by really fast.
Is he like snowboard goggles on or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's wearing snow. So whatever it is didn't have a windshield. But just that kind, it sings like rock to me, because when I was in high school, this Deftones, I remember someone being like, "Have you heard this?" And
Mhm.
I was like, oh, put the hook in me. The album before this one, Around the Fur, I've heard so many times I could play it for you backwards. Like, I know it, love it. But this album, that my favorite song on this album is, because of the video as well, I already said it, Change in the House of Flies. The
Oh
video,
yeah.
the way it starts, where it shows like it's like a mess at a party, like the party's over,
Mhm.
and then they zoom in on his face, and then they pull back and the party's happening, and everyone still looks like they've done
Yes.
all the drugs, but no one could get an Uber because Uber hasn't been invented yet, so they all have to stay there. And
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know why, but like I love the Deftones. I love that time and place with the music. It just locks it in. And they've been able to evolve, or at least keep going for the last 20, 30 years, to where they still make good music.
Uh-huh.
They're timeless. It's like I feel when I listen to him, he doesn't sound any older, even though I know one day he'll be up there or he won't with a walker, like fuck, all right, that's it, it's over. He's got it. I was thinking today when I was listening, I was like, I just want to see him one more time. Like
Yeah,
once
I do
more
too.
time.
I want to see them. I want to see them as much as I can. We,
That's what I
yeah, we've seen them together once. And I've seen them one other time. I've only seen them twice.
I think I've only seen him twice, maybe 3 times, but I don't remember what the 3rd one was. But I saw him here. I went to the I had a one-off date with this girl that I only took her out, like, twice, and we went to the show, and she tried to grab my hand, like, hold it, and I don't do that. I never do that at a concert. I don't do that, anyway. So, the whole time I kept moving away from her, and she kept moving near me, so it was the worst Deftones show I've ever been to. I didn't get to hear one fucking song 'cause I kept thinking about this woman touching my hand. I was like, "Stop touching my hand. It's the Deftones. You don't touch hands." Like, stop.
She's just trying to be sweet, Tony.
At a concert?
Hey, the next show we go to, I'm gonna hold your hand.
Don't fucking start on me, Alex. I'm really not in the mood. I'm not doing that shit. Don't start. Don't do that. I'm gonna say that. I'm like, don't do that. That's inappropriate. And then someone else will be like, "Oh, that's the worst date I've ever seen." Like, shut up. It's not a date. But
It's
anyway.
too much fun, Tony. It's too much fun. Much fun.
If I
I
liked
can't.
it, you'd stop doing it. But it's
Yeah, exactly.
it's our dynamic.
Don't you can't show all your buttons, Tony. You
That's
know.
right. He
I'm gonna-
wants to stop, but I won't let him.
Uh,
Well, so
oh,
anyway, now that I've rambled on for 20 minutes about this album, like, and really got nothing out of it, what do you think? What do you have to say about it?
it's like I said before, it's a classic album. I love it. I love the Deftones. I would say it's their golden album. It's the one
Yeah,
that to me that everyone thinks of. You see a white pony, you think Deftones.
it's their logo.
Like it's you just see that and you go Deftones. Even if it has nothing to do with the Deftones. There's a beer called Montucky. It has the white pony on it. It looks exactly like the pony. It's like they took it from the album and put it on the
Whoa.
beer. Really, as far as I know, it doesn't have a whole lot to do with the Deftones, but it's the white pony's on there. So people call it Deftones beer, or I do. Um, yeah,
The more
I
you
am
know.
I am people. So
Jesus. Excuse me.
um, yeah, awesome album. Like I said, every song on there I really like. Mine is Teenager, and again, something I don't like it. It's just a little boring. So
Right.
I give the album 9.8. You know,
Yeah.
maybe just because of the Teenager, and like I said, I listen. I never skip it. I'm like, if there's got to be a stinker, it's that one.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. It's just a little like, all right, it's a little slow and boring, but whatever. Yeah, Change. It's great. Digital Bath. Lee. Knife Party is probably my favorite song, just because it's so different and so, it's bath time metal, Tony, and
Right.
it has all the aspects that you need for bath time metal in that one song. It's got
Yeah.
heavy parts. It's got like emotional parts. It's got that lady singing and then
Yeah.
just yelling.
It sounds like someone's being murdered. Like honestly, it's like in the
Yeah.
background. Yeah. And he's
Uh,
just like all of the things. Oh, yeah. Oh man, that shit gets. That's why I said it's emotional music. Because when I hear it, I get all moist, like just like a bathtub.
yeah, exactly. See, you're starting to get
My man's not wrong. He's just unique.
it. Just
Takes a minute to get into his ideas and ways.
um, yeah, 9.8. Um, Great album. You should listen to it. Give it a chance. If you don't like the Deftones, just hear us out. Yeah, it's an album they're a band that I still listen to. It's not like I've grown out of it. I think that they've evolved. They were put into a category of music where I don't think they necessarily belong, but for the time, they were in that hard rock, new metal genre. And
Yeah.
there's bands that were like the Deftones, as of like they didn't really fit into that, but that's where they were pushed into. Deftones, Tool, Rage Against the Machine, like
Yep.
were like better than like a lot of the other bands that were in there, but it was just the time. They were heavy music, so they got put in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at them. Like they were up against like Limp Bizkit and whatnot, and they're not around anymore. I mean,
Oh, kind of, but yeah.
not in my fucking book. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, yeah, not in anyone's. Yeah.
of all those bands, like I mean, I'm even like if you were like System of a Down, they don't perform very often. Those bands aren't really taking it. Tool's about the only one, and even Tool's kind of like, all right, we're a part, we're on AARP now. We're older now. Like
Yeah.
we're not.
And they don't like their albums are like 10 years apart or whatever.
Yeah, they're right. And the Deftones are still like, no, we're still swinging. Like we're still making records.
And that's the thing with the Deftones is they have however many albums, right? They have quite a few albums,
Yeah.
but they only have one album that I don't think is great. And I think most people that like the Deftones would say there's only one album that's not that good, and that's Gore. And I
Right.
think that's my opinion, and I think a lot of other people's opinion.
Yeah, I
Although
don't know how to pronounce the album that we talked about when we saw them together. Yoko. I
Kenny Yoki or something, I don't.
Right.
I,
But that if I could pronounce that album, I would talk about it a lot more, in all honesty. That album was like it's 20 years after like White Pony came out or whatever, it's 15, some shit, but it was like a resurgence to me. It was just like, whoa, they're playing brand new music.
well, it was the first album. Well, there was Diamond Eyes. Well,
Yeah. That
Saturday
was
Night Race, Diamond Eyes, Kino no can yep, yeah, that one. And then Gore, and then Ohms.
mhm.
Let's see. I think the one that we can't pronounce came out 2012.
Oh
That's
wow.
the year we moved to Portland, and that's the album that we saw together.
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't know it was 2012, but it had to take place sometime. So it was about 12 years after White Pony, which is huge because to me it was like, wow, these guys have, this album's great.
Well, because it is kind of a resurgence, because it was the first album that like officially had a new bass player after Chi, what's his name?
Right. I don't know if he passed away, right?
He died in a car accident, and then they were making an album, and then I think they kind of scrapped that one because he died, and then they made Diamond Eyes, and I think it was just with a studio bass player, and then they put out the other one in 2012, and that officially had the guy that was on that album. He was on on Gore too, and he was in the band for a little while. And now it's not. He's, I don't know what the deal was with that, but anyway, they're consistently good. They got one album that's not great. And with all that being said, with bands that have been around this long that have, let's see, 3, 5, 7, they have 9 albums.
Oh, okay.
To have one that's not great out of 9, that's you're doing all right. You know?
Yeah. No shit. Yeah, most bands, most huge bands, like even Guns N' Roses, had like maybe 3 or 4 good albums. Tops.
Yeah. Tops.
Right. And yet they're selling out fucking stadiums, and you've got Deftones, who maybe would open for them, who's got 8 good albums. But yeah, listening to them made me want to rush out and see them again before they go away, type thing. That's what I was kind of like an urgency of like, wow, I really need to make sure I see these guys. Like, stand there for 2 hours, watch the whole set, soak it in. Like, hopefully have one of the I want to go to another Deftones show and be like, that was an amazing set. You know, I want to see. I would probably go see them like 3 or 4 times and on a tour if I could, if it was feasible, just to say I caught a couple of really good sets.
Right.
Because I like them that much, and I have a feeling they would mix up the songs too. In between, they would switch it up. If you saw them 3 or 4 times on the same tour, you'd probably catch a few different cuts.
Right.
That's the other thing I've learned about seeing the same band on the same tour is you might get the same fucking set list. That kind of sucks. I'll tell you right now, it's not very much fun. Sure. You're like, I know all these songs. They're working right now. They're not having fun.
Yeah, they're just playing it. So what would you give them?
I give it a 10. I'll just give it a flat out 10. I got no problem with the album. I love it. That's yeah. But I mean, like you said, it's hard for me. It's hard to pick a favorite Deftones record. But this is like their gold album. This is like their gold record.
It is. It's their whatever album. It's their white album or whatever.
But they have like 5 records I would give 10s to.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
right. That's what's great about them. I don't know that many bands that I could say that about.
I give this album a 10 too, basically. I guess just that.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, yeah. Tit for tat, it's a great fucking record, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've never looked down at my phone when that song that you don't. What is it? Would you say it was?
Teenager.
Teenager. Yeah, I've never looked down at my phone and be like, "What song is this?" So yeah, it didn't get me either. But sometimes those songs, you think they're a part of another song. Sure. You're like, "Oh yeah, okay." I didn't know that was a separate cut. So yeah, doesn't bother me. But that was fun, man. That was fun listening to that. Took me back. Watching all the music videos did it for me too.
And I don't want to harp on that song too much, but I guess what that song is for me, it's like when I would listen to it, I never noticed it, or like kind of like you said, but listening to under this under these our rule set or whatever, like I'm like really trying to dive in and think about it.
Oh yeah.
Notice it. It was like I'm listening when we listen to music for the show. I listen to music for the show in a different way because I'm trying to I analyze it in a different way. I'm not just listening to it. So I guess that's why this time I noticed it, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, anyway. Amazing.
Well, now we know I'm not really listening to the music.
No one does it.
That's what you call a punchline, folks. All right. So, time for the fucking wheel then, yeah?
Wheel? Oh.
Shit. I hear the music, I can tell you that. All right. Last week we didn't get to do anything that was on the wheel because it landed on my initial and I had to come up with something, which we did. So this week I really hope we land on number 1 today. I do. I just want to get it over with. It's like Coco. It's just been going on for too long.
Coco was on there for like a year. I swear to God.
This is getting up there, dude. This has been number 1 for a long time. But anyway, 3 from Hell, the soundtrack and the movie. The only movie soundtrack combo we have on here because we can't get the fuck off there. Second one is Talking Heads. The 77 is what it's called, deluxe version. Number 3 is Alex's Spot. Number 4 is Aretha Franklin with Amazing Grace. Number 5 is Kaleo A/B. Number 6, the Goo Goo Dolls. Chaos in Bloom. Sure, even they don't listen to that record anymore, but whatever. 7, my spot. Number 8, Curtis Mayfield, self-titled record called Curtis. Number 9 is Green Druid at the Maw of Ruin. Number 10 is Saint Vitus. Jesus Christ. Get that off there too. Born Too Late. And that's the list.
Cool. All right. 3, 4. Not the Goo Goo Dolls. Not the Goo Goo Dolls.
Just missed the fucking one. All right, whatever. Sorry. So the band I can't pronounce is coming off. We're doing it. Saint Vitus, right? Yeah. All right, and the album is Born Too Late.
Saint Vitus. It's a Black Sabbath song. So that's the name of a Black Sabbath song.
Oh, okay, cool. So they took their name from a Black Sabbath song. So that should give us a hint as to what it sounds like.
Yeah, right. And what's the name of the album? Born to Lose?
Born Too Late.
Born Too Late. Born to Lose. Yeah, same thing.
You're born. That's it.
All right.
Well, hey, for both of us being hopped up on a bunch of goofballs and no-dos, I think we did pretty good this episode.
Not too bad.
Alex insisted that we do a bunch of dirty pills he found under the sink, so that was wild. But we made it.
Just my thing. Sort of thing. All right. Like, subscribe, or else you'll become a toy. I'm always serious.
That was fucking funny right there.
Like, subscribe, follow. If you want to suggest a band and an album, you can go to Hitfoo69 on Instagrams. Leave us a DM, direct message. That's what that is. Slide right in.
That's right.
You could go to YouTube and go to our channel, which hopefully you already are. And go to the most recent episode and leave in the comment section a band and an album and or a movie and a soundtrack. So thank you for watching and listening.
Oh my God. Thank you, Alex. That was great. I needed that. It's my day off. Needed a bag of giggles.